Hey everybody, it is Lon.TV back again, and today we're taking a look at the Lifeproof Fre, or perhaps Fre, depending on how you want to pronounce it. This is a case designed for people that beat the crap out of their iPhones, and this particular case is designed for the iPhone 5 and guarantees that it will not die if it's dropped from 6 feet or dunked 6 feet underwater. So it has some things going for it. So let's take a closer look at that case. Now when you get it, it doesn't really have a lot of curb appeal, maybe some curve appeal if you like a warped looking thing, and on first blush it just feels really crappy, and surprisingly it is far from it once you get the phone installed inside of it. But it consists of two components here, and there's a rubber gasket that runs all along the inside of this thing, and that is kind of the magic sauce that keeps this thing waterproof. And I did a test, which I'll show you in a minute, that survived pretty well underwater for a good length of time. The other part of the case is a screen protector, which also has a bit of crappiness to it, but again, once you have the phone installed, it makes a lot more sense and it feels pretty good. I would suggest just dusting this off, because anything that's on the inside of the case will get stuck in between it and the screen when you put it in. Installing the iPhone is not too difficult. It pretty much slips right in here. Now my phone is beat to hell and back again just because I am not a case person, so getting the case off is a whole nother issue. Now when you do put the case in, it has to snap in, and it really is pretty satisfying once you get everything snapped in here, and that gets that gasket sealed. Now they do recommend that you test it thoroughly before you put your iPhone in, and I did one of those tests just to make sure it worked. Now another neat thing about the case here as you're putting it together is that, it has a little gasket here that goes in the headphone port, so you will lose the ability to use your hands free unless you unscrew this. And I would suggest leaving it screwed in, especially if you're out in the water, because if your iPhone falls in the water, you don't want the water coming into the one hole that there is in this thing. So, but then you just screw this thing back in here, and it seals it up pretty tight. It's a little hard to get at it sometimes, to get it off and to get it back on, but once you get in there, it's good to go. And right here is a cover for your USB connection, your Lightning connector there, and that just seals shut. And once the phone is in, it feels a lot different. The case is no longer warped. It wraps around the phone very nicely, and it provides a real cocoon for it. And as you can see here, the screen will work. The touch screen works pretty well. It does get there's a little bit of bubbliness to it, but in other words, there's some air maybe caught in between, but it doesn't really feel that bad. In fact, it does provide a real layer of protection between your screen and everything else. So I can guarantee you that if you're somebody who keeps your phone for a year or more and you don't take it out of this thing, it will be brand new when it comes back out again, even if it gets dunked in the water. Now one thing I did do is I went up to my kitchen and dunked this thing without the phone in it, mind you. I just wanted to make sure. Dunked this thing with a paper towel inside of it, sealed, and put it in a little jar of water for about a half an hour to see what would happen. So put it in there with the paper towel, which would obviously absorb any water that would get into the case, and let it sit there, and then took it out. So let's take a look at the results.
All right, we just pulled it out after 20 minutes submerged, and it looks pretty dry so far. I'm going to dry this thing off. It is a bit difficult to get the case off, so we're going to take a little pause here, and I will try to get this case detached and see if that paper towel is still intact. All right, we got it undone, so I'm just going to peel off the rest of it here, and the paper towel is completely dry, so none of the water got in. And the case looks pretty good on the inside. The only thing I can see as an issue is just I'm chewing this thing up trying to get it off. So I think undoing the case and redoing it will obviously create some issues over time. But overall, it's pretty impressive that this paper towel stayed completely dry. Now, will I put my iPhone in next? Probably not, but it's good to know that if you did have an inadvertent fall into the water, your phone would likely survive.
So that is the Lifeproof Fre from Lifeproof, and it's a pretty good case, surprisingly. It doesn't feel so great when it comes out of the box, but once it's on your phone, I think you'll be quite pleased with it. This is Lon.TV, and thanks for watching.